right, we'll get started with Louisville. Head coach Jeff Walz, if you have a question, just raise your hand and we will bring the microphone to you. For those joining us on Zoom, just use the raise hand tool if you have a question. We'll start off with an opening statement.
Yeah, first, just want to say congratulations to Katie, her team. Just they competed, they continue to compete. It's what we told our kids. It's a ball club that will not quit no matter what the score is, and they just kept grinding and grinding. And then, I'll take the blame for this. I tried to sub a little bit there at the end, trying to keep some fresh legs, possibly thinking, as you're going through a tournament, 3 games and hopefully 3 days, and we lost all of our rhythm offensively, and then we took some real poor shots. Didn't defend, didn't guard. Everything that we needed to do to allow them to come back in the game, we did. And that's unfortunate for us. And again, I'll take the blame for it. I'm not going to put the blame on these kids. It's my fault. You're trying to give some kids some minutes, and it's a tough situation to be in. And then when I put the other ones back in the game, we didn't communicate. I mean, we give up an and one, and then we give up a 3. It was just not good.
Questions? Down front.
Yeah, Jeff, that shot clock violation at the end, what were you trying to get with Haley the ball, and obviously it didn't work out, but just what were you trying to get on that play?
Well, we were trying to get her coming off the ball screen and attack. And they did a really nice job on the hedge, and then, we had an opportunity for a throwback, but you got to get a shot up. And unfortunately for us, we got stuck, because if you get a shot up, then they're not going to get an opportunity to get the ball back. There was only 1 second or 1.7 second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. So, our goal was to try to start attacking at about 8, 9. And then that gives you a chance to be able to attack off the bounce, but then make a pass if needed. And unfortunately for us, it would have been better off if they'd stole it from us right there and then had to take a half-court shot. But great execution by them. You've got to give Destiny Harden, what a ball game she had. The things that she did is exactly what we told our kids she would do. She posted us up on the low block towards the end of the game. We just stood dead ass behind her, and we said, you got to front her. You can't do that. When we did front, they turned it over several times, throwing passes over the top. But it's just a game. Every possession matters. And unfortunately for our group, we haven't completely figured that out yet, that I don't care what the score is. The first possession of the game is just as important as the last possession of the game. And it's a tough lesson to learn, but it's one that I hope we're going to learn from and make some quick adjustments, because you've got a good week and a half now to sit on this, and if this doesn't sit in your gut and piss you off, I don't know what to do for them. But I also want to apologize for our fans. What an unbelievable group that we had come down here today for this tournament, and just appreciate them making that decision to come down and support us.
Yep, down front.
Jeff, as you mentioned, you want this. This is going to sit with you guys when you don't play again until the tournament. How do you handle that week? Do you talk to them about the loss? Do you talk to them about the loss?
Of course you do. Yeah. Of course you do. What are you going to go hide under a rock? Reality sucks, and I'm a big fan of it, because if you're going to go hide, you're never going to get any better. As a coach, I learned a valuable lesson there today. I was trying to save some legs, trying to see if I could get everybody about 30 minutes with some substitutions here or there. But unfortunately, it didn't work out. And then when I tried to put some people back in the game, they had been sitting for 4 or 5 minutes. It was a poor decision by me. There's no question about it. But yeah, we're going to watch it. I think you have to. Can't hide from things.
Yeah, Coach. The last kind of 5.5 minutes, you just couldn't buy a basket. Was that something they were doing defensively, or was that just you guys kind of beating yourselves?
Well, we had some really good looks. Key's three right there in front of the bench was halfway down and popped out. Chelsea had a really nice drive for a layup, and then we couldn't get to the free throw line either. That was. We needed to try to stop the bleeding by getting the opportunity to get to the line, and unfortunately, we weren't able to do that.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Coach, for the first 3.5 quarters, that your defense was all over the place. I just wanted to know what were the positives you saw in that first part of the game, and what changed down the stretch.
Well, again, I'm taking it's my fault. I subbed. You know, I had some bad combinations out there, and it kind of just threw everything off kilter. We didn't communicate. You know, it's one of the things I talk to all of our kids about is when you're sitting on the bench, you know, you really want to be engaged in watching. Okay, who's making shots? Who do I have to know? Who's out there? Who's hitting them? And we went out there, and unfortunately, it was like we hadn't been watching the game at all. Knowing that, you know, you've got 35 that just hit a three, Naomi, and it's like, guys, you can't give her a second. And then we just give her a wide open for a second one. So, again, it sucks, but it's part of athletics. It's part of life, and you've got to either stick your head between your legs and go hide, or stand up and take it. I say it all the time. You know, it's nice to sit here in front of the media when things go well and, you know, say how great it is. But this is part of it too. You've got to be able to take the questions and admit when you screw up. And I screwed up. There's no question about it.
Down front.
Jeff, the collapse a little eerily similar to NC State in January. When you look at that game and this game, I know you haven't watched film, but just does it seem similar for you, those collapses in the fourth quarter?
No, it's the same outcome. But again, I had different combinations out in the game that I thought we'd be okay with, just because we've done it before. But this is a bigger stage. It's a bigger stage, and we just did not respond well. And again, that's my fault.
Further question? Yeah, Mitchell.
Kianna, you know, from the players' kind of perspective, are you guys going to, I guess, linger on this loss and kind of dissect it, or are you ready to just kind of focus on, you know, Selection Sunday and figure out kind of what the next opponent is?
Well, Selection Sunday isn't for another week or so, so all we can do is work on ourselves and get better and learn from this.
Kianna, as one of the leaders of this group, what do you tell the players to not, so they're not so down on themselves, and you do learn from this in the next week and a half?
I mean, obviously, I wouldn't say being down on ourselves is a bad thing, because we have to be down. Like, that was awful. Like, there's no question about it. This is the second time that's happened to us this year, and we have to learn from it and make changes. And the only way that you learn from something is reflecting on the game and reflecting on all your mistakes. So that's all we can do.
You mentioned it's the second time that's happened. The turnovers today, I think even in the first half for you, Kianna, not turnovers for you, but
No, yeah.
just what was it that Miami was doing that made turnovers so crazy for everybody?
I mean, I think personally, we got sped up, and we didn't play smart, driving into a couple people and playing a little bit too fast. Yeah.
Any further questions? All right.
Thank you, everybody. Norlin, it's good to see you back there. You look great. Don't lie. You never like seeing me.